all that to go as you grow, it is extremely difficult to manage stuff.
It is. There's a lot of stuff like it's, and in fact, for the gurus that are teaching, I don't even fault them for not being able to tell you everything, because there's a ton. So I've heard that before where people take a class and they're like, oh, well, I didn't know about this. I didn't know about that. Yeah. And in every situation is different, and it's extremely difficult to try to predict and prepare for every single eventuality. That being said, there is a ton of stuff that's the same thing every time.
And you can't learn everything on a weekend, guys. Just
No, you
FYI,
can't.
right?
No, you can't.
Well, as you get into the thick of things, and if you probably already are, you're probably in the weeds, you've hired this person or that person, I have, and it didn't work out for one reason or another. And it gets to a point where we're not good people at hiring people, we're good at investing. That's all we're good at, right?
Yeah.
Know our lane. So what we wanted to do, as I transition Rudy on here, is we want to talk about this idea of this VA, virtual assistant, right? This magical person that comes into your world and takes over for you and relies, so you can go on vacation and spend the time on the beach, right? Rudy, welcome, man.
Rudy, you're on mute still.
Yep.
And Rudy's off mute. How are you today?
There it is.
Good.
Very good.
So this world of virtual assistants, let's back into it. How did you get involved in it before we dive into the details?
So started over 16 years ago, going on 17 years ago now. So not a new to the game per se. And the way we started, I had a mortgage banking consulting firm called Rainmaker Solutions. One of my clients who worked for UBS Mortgage had a small call center operation doing introductory calls for mortgages. Basically saying, hey, your mortgage is with UBS, you need to send your payment here. This is when your payment's due. This is your payment amount. That's it, right? They had 6 people in the Philippines doing these calls. He was interested in moving to the Philippines and taking this to the next level, asked me to partner with him. And as such, we are now an 800-person organization in the Philippines in 4 different locations. And we have 70 onshore staff in Burlington, North Carolina. So we've grown through multiple verticals. And you know, that way that we started with 6 people. 6 people turned into 20, 20 turned into 50, 50 turned into 100. And again, 17 years later, we're at 900 odd people at this point. So like I said, we're not new to the game. We've been in it a long time. We've definitely seen the ebbs and flows of the business. We saw the downturn of 08, 09, and 10, where we went from about 350 people down to 20 people overnight because of the stroke of a pen of the government and Fannie and Freddie saying no more offshoring, which now Fannie and Freddie have changed their tune and they do allow offshoring for non-legal back office work. So that is a big feather in our cap again. And like I said, so the real estate market is very in tune with what we do and how we do it. And in fact, you know, most of the big banks have offices down the street from our operation in the Philippines. You know, Chase, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, all of those big banks are there taking advantage of the offshore operations and the cost savings and benefit of doing such.
Wow.
That's awesome. And you're saying, yeah, we were talking before and you said roughly half of your office deals with real estate.
Actually, in total, about 70% of my office deals strictly with real estate based transactions.
Wow.
About 50% are in the single family rental and property management space, along with some multifamily that we touch there as well. We have about another 10% that are mortgage default related, dealing with the foreclosure, the bankruptcy, the eviction processes associated with mortgages. We have about another 15% that are in mortgage origination, about another 10% that are in title. And then we have some other offshoots, which is strictly working for accounting firms doing their tax-based accounting. We also do recruiting, working with recruitment firms, and then we do some back office related to medical billing and medical placement of nurses. So we do have multiple verticals, but we were born of the real estate market and we are very in tune with the real estate market.
So
fascinating.
when we say real estate market, you know, we're very small niche node space in the real estate market. What are traditionally they used for? Are they used for, you know, running values? Are they used for, you know, marketing, social media? What are they typically doing, you know?
So we do a lot of all of what you just said. So, you know, I find it interesting when you were talking earlier, you were talking about how you don't have time to get to everything that you need to, right? The whole premise of a virtual assistant is to help your highly compensated individuals, your brain trust individuals, do more of what's going to make you money, right? If you don't have to spend your time keystroking or data entry, trying to find values, trying to find comparable sales, comparable listings, trying to do that sort of menial work, as it were, your time can be spent analyzing the deal, right? So if your VA, if you train your VA properly and get them to give you the information that you need to then simply look at a deal, and now instead of processing 2 deals a day, you're processing 10 deals a day, right? So your ROI goes up dramatically as a result of employing this individual. So let the VAs do the work that you don't need to do, right? Let them data stroke, let them keystroke, let them go through and do the research associated with each of these assets that you're trying to acquire, so that then you can spend the time analyzing the metrics of the deal and then moving it forward to either saying yes or no.
That's amazing. I mean, you're right. The time, energy, and money is made up in the time, energy, money that you don't have to spend doing it. And it could be the fact that you could spend more time with your family too. Like,
oh, that's huge. Absolutely. And so, I mean, just think about it. You know, like I said, if you can double, triple, quadruple your capacity to be able to work on deals on a daily basis, right? And not having to do that at night anymore, right? And so now you're getting back the quality time with your family. You're getting back, again, a better ROI. And for the cost of a VA versus your own personal time, you know, you're going to make that money tenfold, because again, you're spending your time making deals happen versus trying to figure out if the deal is viable or not, right? So any of that back office function, and you know, I can get granular, but I don't think you really need to in this sense, because, you know, yeah, okay, hey, 123 Anywhere Street, I need to know what the comparable sales, what the comparable listings are in the area. Let me know what the true value of that is. These guys are filling in forms, right? It's not rocket science. Everybody has their own little bit of secret sauce, as it were, to how they determine whether or not the deal is viable for them. But the work going up to that point is all the same. Give me value, let me know property condition, reach out to individuals that are going to get me that information so that I don't have to spend the time doing that. I don't need to spend the time on the phone. I don't need to spend the time, you know, again, keystroking. Let me go ahead and make decisions as to whether or not that deal is going to be profitable for me or not. And that's where you're going to gain your biggest advantage related to having a VA and having them help you. Not to mention, you know, there's other aspects of your business. If you want to start something else, you know, you want to go down another business line, that VA is going to free up your time to be able to do that. And again, you know, the cost of a VA is minuscule in comparison to what you're going to gain in earnings as a result of their assistance.
So if there's a new task a VA has to learn, is there a good process or way, or how do you advise clients? Say, well, I need them to do something a little bit different than they've done before. What is the best strategy of handling that?
So here, you know, I mean, I can tell you about how, you know, how we kind of structure it. And there is going to be some time suck, if you will, in the beginning, right?
Sure.
In the beginning, we're going to create a training manual. And that training manual, you're going to have to give us your intellectual knowledge to be able to let them know steps 1 through 100 on what they need to process on a daily basis. But then our training team is going to take your information, create the manual for you, because I'm quite certain you probably don't have that. It just all resides in your head today, right?
Yeah.
They're going to create that training manual. And as you continue to grow and those opportunities continue to gain, you need to get another VA, or you want to hire somebody, you know, stateside again, to be able to help process and help you workflow. That process manual that is your intellectual property now is going to help you get to that next level, because now you can sit somebody down and say, okay, here's steps 1 to 100. This is the way we do it. And this is how we're going to, this is what I want you to do on a daily basis.